And you're very welcome back to Ireland AM this Friday morning. If you are one of the many people who are planning to staycation this summer in Ireland, well, look no further than the beautiful Cork City. And this week, our Laura took a trip to explore some of the best and most glorious tourist attractions on offer for us this summer.
With its colourful streets, cool coffee bars and historic buildings, you can't beat the crack in Cork City. Dubbed the real capital of Ireland by proud Corkonians, the city is full of hidden gems and great restaurants where there's always a friendly face to greet you.
I decided to explore Cork City as part of Fáilte Ireland's Keep Discovering campaign, where I found a true blend of old and new. From its historic architecture to its beautiful scenery, the Rebel City has people of all ages revelling in the atmosphere.
First up, I went to explore the Marina Market. Set in the old Ford Industrial Building along the River Lee, Marina Market has quickly become a staple of the Cork foodie scene.
The market brings new life and energy to one of the city's oldest industrial sites. Just a short stroll from the city centre on the banks of the Lee, this place is a must to visit during your Cork staycation. So Katie, we have some delicious grub in front of us that I'm very much looking forward to tucking into in a minute. But you might first tell us all about the Marina Market.
Okay, so we first opened in September of last year in the middle of COVID. It was amazing. At the moment we have a weekend farmers market as well. So we have craft traders, all local producers, everything. So there's a mixture of everything 7 days a week. So it is amazing.
This must have been an incredible opportunity for so many local producers around the area.
Absolutely, because we have takeaway options, everything is takeaway. So we have some guys here who have restaurants actually in the city who couldn't open. So they're down here, they've been operating throughout the whole way, and it's been a great scapegoat for people to come down and just grab a bite to eat, go for a walk down the marina.
It's a wonderful area and a great building. What did it used to be?
So it used to be the Ford factory, the first Ford factory in Cork, and then it went on to be the Southern Fruits factory.
So if people are considering Cork for their staycation, this is definitely worth visiting.
100%, yeah. We're in the heart of the city. We're just located on Centre Park Road, that's the pedestrian access, and then out the back at Kennedy Quay, we have a car park for people to park for free. We're not going anywhere, we're just getting bigger and better.
On that note, time to dig in.
Cork City has a very rich historical and archaeological heritage, evidence of which can still be seen today. Part of this heritage, Cork City Jail, is a magnificent building of the Georgian Gothic era, which once housed an eclectic mix of prisoners from all over the city. I decided to take a trip back in time to wander through the wings of this historic jail.
This fabulous castle-like structure will give you a fascinating insight into what life was like for prisoners in days gone by. Now serving as a museum open to the public, this is the perfect location to experience some of Cork's rich history.
Assistant Manager Fiona O'Sullivan was on hand to help me learn more about this historic site.
So Cork City Jail opened in 1824 and it closed in 1923. So we were open for just under 100 years, 99 years. When we first opened, we actually housed men, women and children here in the jail. But in 1878, we became the women's jail. So it was only women who were housed here. And still in Cork today, it's actually known as the women's prison. The reason that this jail was built actually was to replace the one in the city centre. The conditions here when it first opened were, quite good, apparently. People who came to see it before it opened call it the finest in three kingdoms.
Any notable inmates?
I suppose the most famous would have been Countess Markovich. She was here for 4 months in 1919. She was here for giving a seditious speech. She wrote a lot of letters while she was here, and if you didn't know where she was writing from, you'd think she was writing from a holiday camp somewhere or something. She says, this is the most comfortable jail I've ever been in. I needed a break. It's just the perfect time to come into prison. And there's the strangest letters. If you read them, you kind of go, did she really write them when she was here? And I know that at that point as well, there was a number of women who had been in here for, giving out literature that they weren't supposed to be doing and all that kind of stuff. And they were actually released. Even though their sentences didn't end for another month or so, they were released early before she came in. So, it was probably to keep them from fraternising with each other while they were in here.
Is it possible to go into one of the cells when you're here?
Yeah, so you can access quite a number of the cells. Some of them are closed off with bars because we have mannequins in them. But there's a couple of cells that you can go into. So the tria cell, you can go in and you can close the door and get an idea of what it was like for the prisoners while they were here. And we also have 2 cells that actually have original prison graffiti in them as well. So you can go in and you can see the time, it's from the Civil War era. So there's drawings in there. There's silhouettes of prisoners in these cells, so you can look at it and you can see all the little names and the dates that they were here. Some have written poems, so it's really interesting to go in and have a look at that. It kind of brings you back. For the most part, it's very much just about the unknown, the people you won't find in the history books. So we tell their stories, we tell why they were here. As you're going around as well, you'll see the models, so it kind of brings it to life a little bit. We have changed things slightly because of COVID, so we have one-way system in place. There's clearly marked as you're going around. There's a lot of hand sanitizer around the building and stuff, and we also just have a limit to the number of people who are in the building at any one time, so we have complete control over that. And if it happens to be full when someone arrives, we'll get them to do the outside part of the tour first, and then they'll come in. By the time they're coming in, then it'll be, there'll be space inside for them. It's a very big building anyway, but so that's what to expect really. There's also some games that we have, interactive exhibits and stuff like that, and we have an audio-visual show at the end that's about 20 minutes long. The outside space that we have is quite big as well, so we have a walkway outside that you can go around the back and you can see other buildings and get an idea of how much space we actually have. And then if you have kids with you, we actually have a children's quiz as well. So it's just a little bit of paper that they get, and they just have to find the answers as they're going around then. And they get a little prize at the end.
And of course, no good staycation is complete without a bit of shopping.
With a mix of modern and traditional shops to choose from, Patrick Street has remained a commercial hub of activity for Cork since the early 18th century. From sweets and treats to clothing and bags, Patrick Street really has it all.
Whether it's adventure you're seeking or a more mellow, relaxing break, make sure to visit Cork City this summer and keep discovering.
Actually, the place is buzzing.
There we have it. How's it going, Aidan? You're there.
Yeah, I am indeed. And you know what? Obviously, most people are making their way to work this morning, but when we arrived in Cork City last night, buzzing is the word. There is a real atmosphere and a vibrancy to this place, particularly with the outdoor dining. I think they've kind of led the way in pedestrianising the streets. So there's a real vibe. Cork is changing, and later on this morning we're going to find out about a major government investment plan for restructuring and improvements, particularly down the area where we are leading to the docks. Over €400 million is planned on being spent to make this city even bigger and better.
It's incredible when you look at Laura in Cork City Jail there. It's,
Yeah.
That sort of stuff fascinates me, and it's a great way to learn the history of the city as well, isn't it?
It is indeed, and there's an amazing history to the city. A couple of other historical facts that you might appreciate, Simon. I discovered that it's believed Walter Raleigh brought the potato to Ireland, so the first ever spud was sown in Youghal in Cork in the 16th century. And I'll add to that at one point, Cork had the world's biggest butter market. So much so, there's a museum for it as well here now.
Wow. So Walter Raleigh did the spuds. And did he do the bike as well while he was there?
Yeah. He's a multi-talented man,
He was a
Mr.
busy
Raleigh.
man, Mr. Raleigh, yeah. Potatoes and bikes.
Multitasker.
Thanks, Aidan. We'll chat to you later on, brother.
Chat to you later.
Cheers, guys.
Right, up next, Eurovision legend Emer Quinn joins us. We're back after this quick break.